Hello everyone. Today we discuss about fundamental of management part 2. In designing an environment for the effective performance of individuals working together in a group, a manager's most essential task is to see that everyone understand the group's mission and objectives and the methods for attaining them. If group effort is to be effective, people must know what they are expected to accomplish. This is the function of planning. It is the most basic of all the managerial functions. Planning involves selecting missions and objectives and deciding on the actions to achieve them. It requires decision making, that is, choosing a course of action from among alternative plans, thus provide a rational approach to achieving pre-selected objectives. Planning bridges the gap from where we are to where we want to go. It is also important to point out that planning and controlling are inseparable. The Siemens twines of management. Now, any attempt to control without plans is meaningless, since there is no way for people to tell whether they are going, whether they want to go. The result of the task is of control, unless they first know where they want to go. The part of the task of planning. Plans thus furnish the standards of control. Now, planning is the selecting and relating of facts and the making and using of assumptions regarding the future in the visualizations to achieve desired results. Planning is deciding advance what to do, how to do it, when to do it, who is to do it. It bridges the gap between where we are, where we want to go. It makes it possible for things to occur which would not otherwise happen. So, planning is a trap laid down to capture the future. Planning is informed anticipations of future. Planning is anticipatory decision making. Planning is required to make decision on what should be done, how it should be done, who will be responsible, where the action is to be taken, why is it done. Planning is the first step of management process and concerned with the establishment of objectives and analysis of present limitations for attaining such goals. Now, planning is a promise to do something acceptable, an exciting opportunity to form a mental model to guide future activities. Nature of planning. Planning is goal oriented, primacy of planning and preservance of planning, efficiency, economy, and accuracy. Planning is an intellectual process, limiting factors, flexibility, coordinations. Planning is goal oriented. Every plan must contribute in some positive way towards the accomplishment of group objectives. Planning has no meaning without being related to goals. Primacy of planning. Planning is the first of the managerial functions, and it precedes all other management functions. Perseverance of planning. Planning is found at all levels of management. Top management looks after strategic planning. Middle management is the charge of administrative planning. Lower level management has to concentrate on operational planning. efficiency, economy, and accuracy. Efficiency of plan is measured by its contribution to the objective as economically as possible. Planning also focuses on accurate forecast. Planning is an intellectual process. The quality of planning will vary according to the quality of the minds of the manager. Limiting factors. A planner must recognize the limiting factors, money, manpower, etc., and formulate plans in the light of these critical factors. Flexibility, the process of planning, should be adaptable to changing environmental conditions. Coordination, planning coordinates the what, who, how, where, and why of planning. Without coordinations of all activities, we cannot have united efforts. Purpose, importance of planning. Planning seems to take a lot of effort as the managerial functions. Planning is important due to following reasons: to provide directions, to reduce, offset uncertainty and changes, to minimize waste and redundancy, to set the standards to make control effective, to manage by objectives, to help in coordinations, to secure economy in operations, and to increase organizational effectiveness. Now, planning provides directions. Planning provides directions to managers and non-managers alike. When employees know what their organizations or work unit is trying to accomplish and what they must contribute in order to reach goals, they can coordinate their activities corporate with each other and do what is taken to accomplish those goals. Without planning, department and individuals might work at cross purpose and prevent the organizational from efficiency achieving goals. Planning reduces offset and uncertainty and change. Planning reduces uncertainty by forcing managers to look ahead, anticipate change, consider the impact of changes, and develop appropriate response. Although planning won't eliminate uncertainty, managers plan and they can respond efficiently. Future is always full of uncertainties and change. Planning forces the future and makes the necessary provisions for it. Planning minimizes waste and redundancy. Planning minimizes waste and redundancy when work activity is coordinated around plans, and inefficiency becomes obvious and can be corrected and eliminated. Planning establishes the goals or standard to make control effective. When managers plans, they develop goals and plans. When they control, they see whether the plans have been carried out and the goals meet. Without planning, there would be no goals against which to measure or evaluate work effort. The controlling functions of management relates to the comparisons of the plan performance with the actual performance. In the absence of plans, a management will have no standards for controlling others' performance. To manage by objectives, all the activities of an organization are designed to achieve certain specified objectives. However, planning makes the objectives more concrete by focusing attentions on them. To help in coordinations, coordination is indeed the essence of management. The planning is the base of it. Without planning, it is not possible to coordinate the different activities of an organization. To ensure economy in operations, planning involves the selections of the most profitable course of actions that would lead to the best results at the minimum cost. To increase organizational effectiveness, mere efficiency in the organization is not important. It should also lead to productivity and effectiveness. Planning enables to managers to measure the organizational effectiveness in the context of the stated objectives and take further actions in these directions. Now, features of planning. It is primary functions of management. It is an intellectual process, focuses on the determining the objectives, involves choice and decision making. It is a continuous process and it is a pervasive functions also. Now, classifications of planning, types of planning. Planning is a complex and comprehensive process involving a series of overlapping and interrelated elements or stages, including strategic, tactical, and operational planning. On the basis of control, plan can be classified as strategic planning, tactical planning, operational planning. A strategic planning establishes master plans that shape the destiny of the firm. An example of the strategic planning is when the executive team planned how to deal with the demographic shift of their customer base becoming much older, and strategic plan sets a broad, comprehensive and longer term actions directions for the entire organizations. So it is the process of deciding on long term objectives of the organization. It encompasses all the functions areas of business. It decides major goals and policies of allocations of resources to achieve these goals, and done at higher levels of management. Less detailed because it is not involved with the day to day operations of the organizations. Now, tactical planning. Translate strategic plans into specific goals and plans that are most relevant to the particular organizational unit. The tactical plans also provide details of how the company or business unit will compete within its chosen business area. Middle level managers have the primary responsibility for formulating and executing tactical plans. These plans are based on marketplace and relatives when developed for a business. Conditions can change rapidly in competitive fields, such as a Korean company suddenly developing a substantially lower price sports bike. It involves conversations of detailed and specific plans into detailed and specifications plans also. It is the blueprint for current actions and it supports the strategic plans. It is mid-term plan, and it is more detailed because it involves with day-to-day operations of the organizations. It is done at middle level of management. Now, operational planning identifies the specific procedures and actions required at lower levels in the organizations and wants to revamp an assembly line to produce more sports bike. Operational plans would have to be drawn in practice. The distinctions between tactical planning and operational planning is not clear cut. However, both tactical plans and operational plan must support the strategic plan, such as revamping manufacturing and marketing to capture a large group of young cyclists. It is short term. It is more detailed because it is involved with day-to-day operations of the organizations. Done at lower level of the management defines what needs to be done in specific areas to implement strategic plans, production plans, financial plans, facilities plans, and marketing plans human resource plans. Now, on the basis of the time period, long-term planning, time frame beyond the 5 years, long-term plan, 5 years, it specifies what the organizational wants to become in the long run. It involves great deal of uncertainty. Higher management levels focus on longer time horizons, cover a longer time, may include a variety of different types of trading. Now, uh, process. Planning at its best is a systematic process. The various steps involves is in planning are given below. Now, perceptions of opportunity, establishing objectives, planning premises, identifications of alternatives, establishment sequence of activities, formulating support plans, choose or choice of alternative plans, and evaluations of alternative. So perceptions of opportunities, the market, the competitions, what customer wants, strength and weakness. So although preceding actual planning and therefore not strictly a part of the planning process, awareness of an opportunity is the real starting point for planning. It includes a primarily look at possible future opportunities and the ability to see them clearly and completely knowledge of where we stand in the light of our strengths and weakness and in understanding of why we wish to solve uncertainties in a visions of what we expect to gain. Setting realistic objectives depends on this awareness, and planning requires realistic diagnosis of the opportunity situations, defining the present situations includes measuring success and examining internal capabilities and external threats. Now, establish goals and objectives where we want to be and what we want to accomplish and when. The second steps in planning is to establish goals and identify objectives that contribute to the attainment of the goals. Goals are broader than objectives, whereas objectives functions as smaller goals that support the bigger goals. The first step in planning is to establish objectives for the entire enterprise and then for each subordinate unit. Objectives specifying the results, expected indications, or indicate the end point of what is to be done, where the primary emphasis is to be placed, and what is to be accomplished by the network of strategic policies, procedures, rules, budgets, and programs. And enterprise objectives should give directions to the nature of all major plans, which by reflecting these objectives define the objectives of major department. Major department objectives in turn control the objectives of subordinate departments, and so on down the line. The objectives of lesser departments will be better framed, however, if subdivisions manager understand the overall enterprise objectives and the implemented derivative goals, and if they are given an opportunity to contribute their ideas to them and to the setting of their own goals. Now, considering the planning premises, analyze the environment to forecast aids and barriers to goals and objectives. As an extension of the defining the present situations, the manager or other planner attempts to predict which internal and external factors will foster or hinder attainment of the desired end. So these are forecast data of a factual nature, applicable basic policies and existing company plans. Premises then are planning assumptions, in other words, the expected environment of plans in operations. These steps leads to one of the major principles of the planning. Planning premises include far more than the usual basic forecast of the population's prices, cost, production, markets, and similar matters. So, because the future environment of plans is no complex, it would not be profitable or realistic to make assumptions about every detail of the future environment of a plan. So that's the end of the video, my friends. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel. Thanks a lot for watching.